show blew up in my face. Woke up on the floor, couldn't take no more, my darkest day. But I can't lose sleep on what I cannot change. I chased the lightning, I got soaked in the rain. Danced with my demons till I couldn't see straight. Try to twist me, but I still won't break. I don't mind. I'll find a way.
Their job.
And welcome in to the bridge with our good friend Kelly Vance. She'll be the one in pink today.
Thanks for wondering.
Yeah.
I want to be Kelly Vance.
And of course, to the right, the wonderfully bald man right there is Drew Cappuccino, owner. Whoa, what was that? Owner.
He was rubbing the mic.
Yeah, two.
Yep, no, wasn't me.
I
didn't see the
metal plate.
I didn't see the genie
spot.
come out. So,
and of course, to Kelly's right, your left is Scott Giles from the grounds.
Good morning.
Just a big shout out to our good friends at DCCS. Go DCS. Give us a little shout out there, Drew.
Yeah, DCCS, Dynamic Conversion Consulting Services. We manage everything from real estate to insurance, technology, human resource, talent management, and academy. If you're looking to level up your business, check us out at 216 Creator Studios for our new show called The Art of Leveling Up, where we have great guests. And the big design is how do you help as many people as you possibly can? And when doing it, by making money doing it. So it's a win-win-win, right? It's the 1-1-1. So yeah, you can check us out at godccs.com. That's godccs.com. If you have any questions about any of that, you can hit info@godccs.com. Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Kelly just got back a week or so ago, maybe 2 weeks now, from your trip to Uganda. You spent, was it 5 weeks there? Four,
No,
five?
that's only there 3.5.
Oh,
Only. Holy cow.
I rounded to the nearest 5.
Yeah. I wish I was there 5 weeks. I really could have used that
right.
extra week.
Ken's got a different form of math.
Yeah, my math wasn't math.
You know, abacus in his hand right now.
The answer is blue.
And
No,
of
it's
course, Sunbeams Uganda, right?
Yeah.
Sunbeams Uganda is your 501c3,
Yes.
and you bought land. For those that don't know, we talk about a bridge to build here, right? And that's what we were talking a little bit about in the green room as we did a quick little dance. As Phil's not here to talk about what he was passionate about.
You're missed, Phil.
But and you've created is the school done?
The school is done.
Oh, wow.
And it's
Nice.
open and it is packed.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's fantastic.
It's like the field of dreams.
Yeah.
Build it and they will come.
That is
Oh,
so
yeah. That's
awesome.
something.
It's
Yeah.
It
really
gives me
cool.
goosebumps when you say that. That's awesome.
It's really cool.
And so you built this bridge to Uganda to gap, right, and bring hope to this community in this country, underserved country. And tell us about your trip real quick first, and that bridge, and then we'll kind of go into, because I was watching and following on social media, because my bridge doesn't go to Africa. I just I don't know if it
Well,
ever,
if everybody's did, right, we'd be
right.
missing a lot of people along the
Right.
way.
Yep.
So it's a good thing all of our bridges. don't
Yeah,
have
so
Africa.
tell us a little bit about it.
Oh my gosh, it was awesome. It was awesome. I think coming away from here to sum it up in one, and I'll get into a
Yeah.
little bit of the detail, but sum it up. In America, we can be very full. We have a lot. We're full of opportunities. Our schedules are full. They're hungry. And so when you give them an opportunity, they like jump on it. And they always seem just like fish and loaves. They always give you more than what you expect. So we went down there, and I knew that it was going to be a quick, it was going to be a packed trip. We needed to hire teachers. The school was done, but there's always finishing touches. Think of any, and we had a celebration. We had a ribbon opening. Those people know how to celebrate. And they do. They had their dancers come shaking their booties, and it was fun. Drums were playing, and it was awesome. But we have 6 classrooms that we built, and they were large classrooms, a little bit larger than what we originally planned, but God knew what we needed. And I expected we'd have about 125 to 150 kids. We had 275 children registered going to school there right now.
That's amazing.
And it filled up all of our classrooms, and our sewing class was in one of the classrooms. So then we needed to, we moved them to one of the nursery classrooms so that they could sew in the afternoon only, which is hard. So we had to double uniforms. I mean, we've been busy, crazy packed because twice the kids, twice the teachers, twice the uniforms.
Right.
There's a lot to do. And then when I was there, this land became available, like one property away from ours, and with a house on it. And we ended up being able to buy the land with this house for the sewing ladies. So now we've got 2 things going. We need an extra classroom that we don't have. Our next phase is going to be 4 classrooms because we need to grow with the students. We only go up to P4 and we have to go up to P7. So then we want to do Sunbeams Fashion and Design School. And so that home and property is going to be where we are going to put our sewing classes, which is awesome because they'll be able to sell their products there as well as, and they'll be completely self-sustaining. I think that's the most exciting part for me. Is everything we do there. We're not there to give handouts. We're there to provide opportunities. We're there to give jobs. We're there to teach them skills. We're there to do leadership.
Is that what your schools are for? Is more of a skill based, not necessarily academia?
Well, we have
Or
both.
is it both?
So the sewing school, we did the sewing school first, and the sewing school is trade. We're teaching them how to sew. They sew baskets. They sew purses. They sew. I mean, they don't sew baskets. They weave baskets. They weave baskets, but they sew dresses. They sew uniforms. They sew bags.
Giving them good life skills.
Yeah, and they're doing great with it. We've have over, I think 4 or 5. Well, no, now we have 6 women that have bought sewing machines, and now they're creating their own business.
Well, that's amazing.
Which is awesome because then they can.
That's
live.
life changing.
Yeah,
that's
totally.
life changing for them.
So you're changing the ecosystem there.
We're trying.
That's fantastic.
We're just pouring into this village, and
You're giving them opportunities that they didn't have before you guys
Right.
got there, right?
And the opportunity is for them to self-sustain,
yes.
which is fantastic. So you just brought in the right tools, found the right people, put in the right chairs, and then you step away. So we mentioned a little bit in the green room. It's hard when you go out there, but then when you have to come back, you're like, please, everything go well, because you're not there, right? You're part of this whole process. Out of curiosity, quick question for you. What are some of the challenges that you had to face putting this whole project together, and how did you overcome it?
That's like 3 shows
Yeah,
right
that's
there on that question.
shows.
Well, that's why I say, just
Right.
give me one.
I will tell you a couple 2 things that really I think make us be able to be successful down there so far, God willing. And I say that with all humility because it could change.
Sure.
Time. But genuine relationships, I think being down there and caring about the people and moving past, I'm here helping them. I see them as people just like I would see you.
Sure.
Right. We're all here made by the same God.
That's right.
And we all need to be encouraged, equipped, and empowered.
Yep.
So we've built genuine relationships with the people. They know that I love them.
Right.
So I think that helps us. The other thing is you can't go down there and insert your ideas and expect them to buy in.
Gotcha.
There's a different way to do life than just the Western view. So what we do is we come alongside them, allow them to dream and spark ideas, and we encourage them in those. So I think you have buy-in when someone has a dream or an idea and you come alongside them and bolster it up and help them to achieve it. That's a lot more successful than me coming in and telling you what's going to work.
Right.
know.
So that space, when you're there, they're like, oh, she's here. Awesome. We love her. They know that you genuinely care. You're not just out there to check off the old box that you're trying to do something to help other people. You're actually helping other people. A lot of people are like that.
No,
Unfortunately,
yeah.
I know. And you know what? I just think there's a lot of pride in that route that long term just doesn't produce life. We want life change.
Yep.
And sustainability. We want them to, don't you want to be around people who want you to be the best you can be?
Absolutely.
I mean, don't you want
Absolutely.
people that
Well,
want
that's the key, is to get around the people that actually help you become the best version of
I
yourself.
wish
Right?
I wish somebody would tell me that before I got into business and made the friends that I made.
Sometimes you need to get new friends.
That's a new show right there.
Sometimes
Leveling
you
up.
gotta find new friends. That happens too.
Welcome to Studio One. I'll be running that solo at this point. So the bridge, and I love this about you. So you built the bridge, and it makes that connective tissue to somewhere that where they really needed it. And you built that relationship. So as they grow, you could get to keep going back, help them level up as they go. So you're making a huge difference, not just to one or two people.
Well, and your
but to
generational
a whole
changes,
group
right?
of people.
It's not even just that one person. It's like the old adage, right? Like teach a man to fish and he'll eat for life.
It's the ripple. It's the ripple effect, right? It's the ripple effect.
One thing that
We're teaching
not
them
small,
to fish.
right? Yeah, you're teaching them to fish, and hopefully they're gonna pass that down to their kids or friends and stuff like that.
Well, and there's a new definition of ROI, and that's ripples on impact.
Oh, that's
there you
cool.
go.
So when you do that, you're making the difference not only for generations that go on, but for the surrounding areas, even to the area that you're working in. So you definitely drop that giant boulder in the pond. So congratulations to you for doing that. That's awesome.
That's great.
It's a miracle. It's what I tell people every day. It's truly a miracle.
Yeah,
Only God could do what has been done there. And to your point before, we do our school. The sewing school is different. Our school is a primary nursery and primary school. So we go from like the youngest is 3 years old up to P4, which is like 4th grade. So we want to go up to P7 and then they do a secondary school. So we've got a long way to go. And we're about developing the whole person, not just building bricks and mortar.
Well, you know, the one thing that I find amazing, or actually amazing, but also sad, if you will, is a lot of people don't even realize the state of that country, right? Of what's going on down there. Like just the simple basic things that we take for granted every day, like having power, having running water, right? Getting to go to school, not having to go to school, right? Like kids here hate going to school. These kids are like, oh my God, I get to go to school and listen to somebody and teach me something, right? And it just changes their mind. You give them a life skill, right? It's going to change their minds. It's going to change their thought process, which hopefully can change the country, right? Or, start to make a good ripple effect.
And that goes back to the thought process of right when you think and my brother taught me this when I was younger, right when you think you have it really bad, your absolute worst day is somebody's best day.
Yeah, it's true.
And in order, people are visual people, so they have to see or feel
really
or
hard
touch
to actually
that.
Like wrap your head around when you say that, though. Like,
it's
when you
true.
said that first thing to me, one of my absolute worst days is someone's best day.
Absolutely. And
wow,
then
that's
see, there's
their best day.
There's villages out there that when kids wake up, they're forced into a militia, and they're forced to kill their parents and then join this militia to go pillage other towns and stuff like that. But you might have stubbed your toe that morning, and your computer didn't work for the studio. Right.
But they don't know.
But those are that's why we take for granted.
Just first world problems.
Well, absolutely.
And the funny thing is, it's not really a problem. It's just an inconvenience at best, right?
If that.
And for them, that is like a bad thing, right? I mean, something like that. They'd be happy to have power or a computer or running water to take a shower or whatever.
So Kelly, we have sewing classes, right? What else? What are the other things that we're teaching out there?
Well, with this last trip, we brought a woman down that actually taught them to knit.
Ooh.
And we didn't have enough knitting needles. So these ladies took the guts of the pen, like the inside where the ink is held, and
built
they made things out of that. I mean,
that's a genius. That's really resourceful.
Super hungry. That's the thing I think is you really know that God's done this when these people are taking what you're learning and they're running with it.
Well, they're happy.
They're excited.
These people are excited and happy.
Yep.
I mean, think about someone coming in and saying, "Hi, I want to teach you."
Yep.
Here in America, most kids be like, "I don't want to learn."
Well, because we have too many opportunities. So I think part of it is that we can see the extremes, right? When we have so much opportunity, we tend to take it for granted.
Yeah.
When we have lights every day, we take electricity for granted.
That's
normal. So I don't think we can be too hard on America. We just have a lot of opportunity. But
correct.
The other thing that we had this woman come down and show them was how to make soap. And then we hired a woman from Uganda to come and show the ladies how to make soap. And actually, I just got a video or a pictures yesterday of a woman who made her own soap and was selling it. And it's a big deal for them because when they sell their soap, they can pay for their kids to go to school. Now, our school fees are very low, but you have to pay to go to school there. I mean, and
Well, yeah, nothing's free in this
Yeah.
world, right?
and they don't understand. They really, honestly, when you talk to them about like our welfare system, they don't get it. They really don't get it. And they don't want to be enabled. They really want to
Right.
be empowered. And so we try
Right.
really hard to make sure if we cross that line into enabling, we course correct. Because they are so capable. They
Right,
just
and
need
that-
a little
yeah.
hand out
Yeah.
or hand up.
Yeah, we've got our America has got a horrible pandemic of, that it's like it just boggles my mind, that people, it's like you got so much opportunity here and you're going to bitch about it. And there, just a simple opportunity is like, a life saving, right?
Has
Like
America-
just more blessed and super happy about that they can
Has
do that.
America made their people fat and lazy
Absolutely.
with opportunity? I'm not saying physically.
I was
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much opportunity out there that we're stuffed, and we're kind of, our
there's so many
schedules are
things to
so full.
Yeah.
We're all tired.
Yeah.
You
You
know?
can pick and choose just about anything.
I can agree with
anything you
that.
want.
I can definitely agree with that. Success through the journey of being hungry is the education, right? So when you're hungry, you have to learn. Like, we go out in America and we hunt for fun, not because we need to do it. We do it. Listen, I used to hunt. I used to hunt deer, and I would definitely use every piece of that animal, right? Because I think it's a skill you should know how to do. Not everything that comes to your plate when it comes from the store and it's wrapped and it's processed and it goes through all these things, but those skill sets go away because now we can do that. So what happens when something goes awry and we're unable to do that anymore?
Right.
Nothing is
You're all gonna be wanting to
forever.
come home
Right.
and go.
Right.
To be around people who can.
You're gonna have to
educate.
build a different kind of school for us to be
Yeah,
like,
right.
teach us how to do these things, right?
Yeah.
And so these are traits that we don't pass down to our kids. I do, because I think it's important, but not everybody does. But from there, they have those basic skill sets to where survival, right? Eat, shelter. Now the bridge that you help build is able to take them that next step up, putting them into that zone
Giving the
of
opportunities.
bettering their life status. We all visit here, right? So they're making best of what's in between the A to Z, which I call birth and death, to better it for the generations downwards. And once again, kudos to you for helping out and creating that part. I wish there was more to
Right.
do like that.
Well, and that's, you mentioned how they don't understand our welfare system,
Correct.
right? Because you're getting something for nothing. Granted, I'm not downplaying our system because our system was put in place for a good on it, like, wanting to help people, right? It was established to be a good program to help people. Unfortunately, like a lot of things with the government, it became just completely abused. And now it's almost a way to control people, right? Oh, you don't do this, we're not going to give you your money every month, right? I mean, what incentivize, you're not incentivized to go out and work, right? Well, we'll just pay you rent every month. Everyone has issues, right? But here we'll exacerbate them. Oh, that's really bad. You can never change that. We'll pay for you to live, right? And then what's their reasoning to want to change? These people don't have the opportunities. You're allowing them. You're giving opportunities to them, and they're going to take advantage of it.
Well,
right?
and let's bring back on the religious aspect of it, right? God helps those who help themselves. And we pray for, man, I really want that new car. They pray for, thank you for giving us what we have.
How about how about just having water? Thank you.
Right.
Oh, I need a new
Thank-
car. I need
right.
a new $100,000
Right.
car.
Now, not everybody does it. I'm not generalizing to everybody. Kelly. I'm just saying there's a lot of misconception because the way our generations are raised is we always want better for our kids. So, how many times have I said, I'll never be like my parents. I'm I'm gonna let them. And then when now I'm 50 this year, I'm like, you're not.
Oh.
Yeah. Send all hate mail to Kent Jones at 21 Snow. So I think that how we learn and how we train, the focus is different. You know.
Yeah, the focus is different. I mean, I don't want to be too hard on America because I think there's a lot of incredibly generous people.
I agree.
And meeting them every day.
Yeah.
That really do see that all the materialism that we have doesn't really satisfy. And, you know, God tells us that. And they're looking for it. And we both have that in common in America and Uganda. They're thinking that materialism or money is going to answer their problems just like we do. You know, it's no different.
Yeah.
And I think to your point, I forgot what your point was because I was gonna I lost it. I lost it. That's
Anyway,
what
as far
as
happens
us
sometimes.
appreciating
Good job,
we
Scott.
get-
You screwed her up.
No!
She forgot. I didn't.
You got.
Oh, I know what I was gonna
Okay.
say. You had said something about with the government and it started on a good.
Started right. It was.
I think most probably I'm going to say as high as 99% of things that start with great intention.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
It's maintaining it. And you know, the world is what corrupts things. But I think people, when they start out to do something, they do start with good intentions. And the biggest thing we can ask for, and you know, my whole pray more and worry less, is we just want to pray that corruption stays out of what we're doing. Because things do start good.
Yep.
And you want to keep them good because everybody wins when it's good.
Right.
So the government is just another example of the world. I mean, that's why, you know, we have a
Right.
flood.
Well, and two, not to interrupt you, Kent, and I will.
Kent's actually been nice and
And
silent over
so,
there.
and coming back, this is an American bashing, by the way. I don't want you to think that, we really do. And not necessarily with the good intentions that the government puts together, people are angry at the government because of the situation we're in, but it's the people that find the loopholes to take advantage of the system that they created for good is the problem.
Yeah. Well, there and here, greed, corruption, all of the things that we battle against.
Yep.
Here there's battling against there. It just looks different.
Yep.
You know, humanity is humanity.
Mm.
You know, sometimes the fruit of it looks a little bit different, but it's all from the same core.
So
Wow.
a couple of quick things. Just shout out to our good friends over at DCCS. Looking for personal or business insurance, send us info at godccs.com. In the subject line, just put 216 and get a free consultation. And if you missed a little bit about what I'm talking about, check us out. Like, subscribe, follow on YouTube, Facebook, all that. There's a great show, the first episode of Leveling Up with yours truly, Drew Cappuccino, talking all about insurances and whatnot, and how to take care of your best assets. And then Kent Jones out there on YouTube. Thanks, Kent, for listening in. Says, love this show. What if my bridge doesn't go to Africa? Now, here's what I thanks, Kent, for listening and following us on YouTube. I was having lunch with a dear friend of mine, good buddy, and he's a Catholic guy, right? And we were talking about LeBron James and how LeBron James is a billionaire and has given a lot to. He's built like 3 schools. He's sent over 100. He's paid for over 100 students for a full ride for 4 years to whatever college that they wanted to go to. Right.
That's awesome.
The guy's doing a lot, right? And he's a billionaire. And then my good friend that I was having lunch with said, "I don't want to hear about it. It's not enough. He's a billionaire." I'm like, "What do you mean it's not enough?"
I was going to say, what do you mean it's not enough?
Right?
He's
So
giving.
So I go. Well, it's the kid on the shore who throws 1 starfish in at a time.
Mm.
And what he's really mad about is people who praise and worship these people who give a little bit of their money, because he's saying they've got endless money. They should give more. Right now,
Why?
I don't know. It's just a spot that he was in.
Right.
And then we were talking about it, and I kind of brought Kelly up, and he's like, "You always take care of your backyard first. You always take care of your backyard first."
I hear that.
A lot of people.
I hear that a lot.
People, I
Yep.
mean,
Right?
yeah.
So
I hear
so
that a lot.
So as we were talking about in the green room a little bit is is there's a lot of bridges out there that you can build. Kelly feels called to have built a bridge to this particular community. You know, Uganda is a large country. Your bridge went to this particular community, right? There are probably other communities there in Uganda. Go, why didn't she build the bridge over here? Stupid American, right? No, you're not. I'm just saying.
No,
but my bridge, and people have asked me, right? And we've got a friend, Steve Wells, who also has, a calling to Uganda, right? I don't. People are like, hey, you want to? Yeah, we'd love to have you. And I look at it and go, hey, that'd be kind of cool. And I'm like, nope.
It's not.
That's not where.
Right.
That's not where I'm called to, right? That's not the bridge that I want to be on, right? So why do I, as a human, or as we talk about building bridges, do I look at the three of you and go, you guys are idiots. Your bridge is going the wrong way.
Well, everybody's got a right to their
Well,
opinion.
I was going to say, you got your own opinion, right?
So listen, Kelly takes care of her backyard. It just so happens her backyard is global. She doesn't drive around in her house.
Big backyard.
So we're all, I like to take the divisions out. I like to take the borders out because once again, we visit here, we don't really own anything and we're all one race. And if your bridge extends closer than hers, as long as it's extending and making a difference, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think the focus is completely wrong.
Right.
First of all, I do the best I can to take care of my own family.
Sure.
We have a beautiful family. We are healthy. I'm not like abandoning my family to go help in Uganda. Right. And there's other bridges that personally I've built, most people don't just build one bridge.
Correct.
Bridge builders are bridge builders.
Right.
This is just happens to be the current bridge that you're seeing me build.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that I don't build bridges every day when I'm even selling real estate.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that I get a little bit, I feel bad for people who have that mindset because I really think that you're kind of placing a judgment on someone that you really don't know their whole life or story.
No.
I am taking care of my own backyard.
Well, people,
Right.
People are
Right.
quick to judge. And that's the
Yeah.
first thought that,
So-
honestly comes into my head when, they told me that. I'm like, right away, like, why Uganda? Why not, why not downtown Chicago? Why
That's
not,
not surprising.
Alabama or whatever, right? But then you think about it, you look at it, and there is reasons, right, behind it, because you can probably make more impact, right, there than here.
I don't know.
No.
I think you can. I think for me that you can. It's definitely easier to impact someone's life.
I
Considerably
think it's
there
based
because of the lack of opportunity that they have. That you can bring basic opportunities to them that we here kind of look at, kind of like that's just the way it is, right?
maybe the way God's wired me and my skill set and my compassion or mercy or naiveness or dumbness, however you want to lay me all out. Maybe that's just the fit that God created me for, to be there for this time. It doesn't mean that
Well, sure.
I'm always going to be there.
So this is an
I love
opportunity
it right now.
So
Love
you're building the bridge off the opportunity that sits in front of you. You probably have an opportunity. This was an opportunity for you to try to make a difference somewhere else. So you took that opportunity.
Yep.
And so as opportunities arise, if there was something local to here, you'd probably jump on that bandwagon too.
Right.
It's just about the opportunities that are around you. You don't know about the opportunity until it's presented.
Right.
And you can only build the bridges you're called to build.
Right.
So if somebody said, "Oh, I want you to go downtown Chicago and do what you're doing there, or whatever," if I'm not called to it, I'm not going to start building, because you know what? Ultimately, I'm not the builder. I think that's the difference. I'm just going where I feel God's calling me to go, and He's doing the work, and I get to watch it.
And God's going to pick somebody else to do that calling.
Yeah.
Right.
If
So it
you
might
look
not
at the
be you.
bridge from here to Africa, think of how much that covers, 8,000 miles.
Yep.
There's a whole lot of bridges that need to happen between here and there.
You ain't kidding.
That's
You
a
know what
long
I'm
flight.
saying? Like that's,
Middle seat for
that's
Ken.
a lot of bridges that need to be built. And so, okay, you're not called to go to Uganda. Great. Don't go if you're not called. That's the first thing I would say. If you're not called, don't go. And don't go out of guilt, and don't go because you want to, put it in your buckets list and, put the feather in your cap. I don't go for those reasons. But if you're called to go, gosh, don't miss out on what God's going to show you. If God calls you to your own community, I look even at real estate. And honestly, I love the opportunity to be able to impact people in helping them buy and sell homes. I've seen some really cool stuff happen in a very local in McHenry.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think that
Well, even
I
if
think
it's
that
not your
about
calling.
going where you're called to do, or being the person. You got opportunities every day, like you had said.
Yep.
Well,
and be kind. Do what you can do. If someone asks, and I struggle, I'll tell you one of my struggles is there's a passage in scripture that pretty much says if somebody asks you for something, give it to you. You know what? I've had a couple kids down there ask me to pay for their schooling, and I'm like, I can't start that. I can't start that because if I start doing yours, then I got
why him?
yours,
Why him and not me?
It's never going to
Right.
stop, and I'm going to cause division. And so I wrestle within my own soul if I'm doing enough, or if am I really walking the scriptures out the way God would want me to? So, you know, yeah, God's doing amazing things in there, but there's a lot of wrestling going on in here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're
in the process of it.
It's just beautiful because you're being the person that you want other people to be, right? Help out other people.
I'm just
Right?
trying to be the person God's calling me to be. I can't
Well,
look too much at other people. I got my own
all right.
side
So
of the
let
street to
me
clean.
when we say building bridge, right? And Kelly's built her bridge to that community in Uganda, a bridge, right? When I say that building a bridge, what size bridge do you see, Scott? You always get a mental image, right?
Me, I picture something like a Golden Gate Bridge,
Okay.
right? Just a
How about you,
monster, thing to
How about
bring
you,
help.
You know the bridge that has the rope handles that goes over
yeah.
the canyon?
Yeah.
That's my bridge.
That's what you see.
Yeah.
Right?
You see those,
Yeah,
those,
I
those
don't
wobbly
wanna-
stairs?
I don't want to spend time on how fancy the bridge needs to be. I want to make sure it can connect and be secure enough.
Get from one side to the other.
to help. Right.
Yeah. And if you see Indiana Jones coming up behind you, you better get across that bridge because it's gonna fall.
It's going to
Yep.
burn soon.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's interesting because the bridges I see are not the big, massive freeway bridges. It's footbridges. Right. When I was a kid, my godmother Barb and godfather George had a creek in their backyard. Right. And
Is that a crick or a creek?
Yeah, it's a creek.
It's a crick. No,
Okay.
it's
Crick.
Iowa. It's crick.
Sorry.
And there was a little bridge, there
It's like
was
a pain in
little,
your neck.
a little footbridge,
Thank you.
footbridge, and that's what those are the bridges I've been asked to build.
The special homemade bridges.
Just a little footbridges from me to you.
Yeah. Little
Right.
helps along the way.
And
Yep.
that's what 216 Creator Studios is all about.
Yep.
Right? Is how do we change the world one listener at a time? Not how do we change the listener.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So my
Yes.
bridges are, hey, I see you're having trouble today. Wherever I'm at, let me throw a bridge. Let's walk on this bridge. I'm gonna come over to you.
Yep.
All right, let me give you a little hand.
Right.
Help.
So I think a lot of the world, like, as I'm sitting there with my buddy yesterday and he's getting upset, and I'm like, maybe you can't comprehend a 6-lane, Golden Gate Bridge expanding across from America. But maybe let's scale that bridge back, and is it just a bridge from me to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you built
Right.
a bridge from you to me to even have me on the show.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, those
Got her.
bridges.
And
It's not. I don't think it's one big
Yeah.
bridge. I think if you look
Right.
from here to Africa, to Uganda, to the village of Kitchener, I think you're going to
To
see
make-
a ton
I-
of bridges.
I mean, I
and a lot of things going.
There's a lot of metaphorical talk,
Right.
but I could truly say that if you have a builder on either side building the same bridge and meeting in the middle is where it's really key.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's true. And your design doesn't have to match mine. It just
Correct.
has to. We just have to meet up, right?
Just got to get there.
But I think I'm going to go back to something you said, Kelly, which is brilliant. Is you don't want to jump on a bridge out of guilt, right? So many people get on the wrong bridge,
Yes.
right? So many people, for many years, when I was at St. Mary Episcopal Church in Crystal Lake, we went to the Rosebud Reservation in South Dakota. Todd County is the poorest county in the nation, right? And we would go there and work on Habitat for Humanity and do a Bible school for kids, whatever. And I felt caught to that for several years, right? And then
It just wasn't there
I
anymore.
hopped off that bridge because I didn't feel the calling anymore, right? And that's okay. But if I were to jump back on that bridge when I really don't feel like it or out of guilt or whatever, it's taken me to the wrong place and the wrong, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
And
it's
I
the
think
wrong
that
it's
happens
the
a lot.
wrong energy too. It's the wrong reasons behind it too. It's like you said. I mean, yeah, I think we're all guilty at some point in our life for jumping on a bridge or on the wrong bridge for the wrong reasons, right? Because you think, like for me, I'll do some things because of what I think everyone else wants me to do, right? What their perception of me, and let's be real. I mean, everyone likes to be liked to a certain point. I mean, nobody wants to know people hate, but I mean, doing nice things for people, right, is important because that's what I want for me. But I've gotten on the wrong bridges before because of the perception thing coming out instead of having that calling, right? I'm going to do this because this is just what I feel in my heart, not because what I feel the world wants me to do or what needs to be done. It's because of what really is inside you and how you can affect those people directly.
I think if you're building a bridge, period, you are going to not always be liked. I cannot sit here and say that I'm always liked for the bridge I'm building.
Well, if you're always liked, it means you're doing something wrong.
So I think, when you start building bridges, I think learn who you are, what you really stand for, what you really believe in, what kind of people you're going to attract and what kind of people you're going to repel. You can have, I've had in 1 week, I had someone want me to mentor them and someone telling me my leadership was terrible. So, you just have to,
that's
learn.
just life.
So
that's just life right there.
You can't serve.
So we could truly say,
even like the gentleman you were talking to, some people will say, oh, what you're doing is great. And some people will say, why aren't you taking care of your own backyard?
Yeah.
You can't live for the opinion of man.
well, not everybody is a bridge builder either.
Some people have
And
blown up.
non-bridge builders don't understand what it takes to build a bridge. So listen, if you are a non-bridge builder, I'm huge on changing perspective to get all the different angles to see what the value is. So if you don't build a bridge and you're against it, walk across the bridge and go watch it. Go see it. I think it's a learning experience, regardless if you agree with it or not. Go see the difference. When you're there, you could see it, you can smell it, you can touch it. Your perspective may change about the goodness, and then go, wow, that's not a bad thing that's happening here. And then when you come back, start learning how to build a bridge locally if you want it in your own backyard. But not everybody is a bridge builder.
Well, especially here in America, right? Over the last 8 years or so, we could say, is all of a sudden there's a big spotlight on Kelly's bridge. And now I'm over on a bridge that had a spotlight. Now I'm upset because Kelly's bridge is getting all the attention, right? And I think there's that judgmental piece. I don't know, not necessarily judgmental piece, but hey, everybody was just kind of walking across my bridge. What happened? Where'd you go? Now you're over on Kelly's bridge. Hey, we haven't finished this bridge yet, right? And I think that's what's caused a lot of turmoil in America. Instead of doing what you said, is like, hey, hold on, let me deep breath, let me walk over, see what's going on, see if I understand it, see if that's a good bridge for me to be on or not, right? Instead, I'm sitting on my bridge upset and I'm throwing grenades over to try to blow up.
Well, I think bridge builders should communicate with each other because there's a lot of things maybe they don't do that they maybe go get a new insight on doing. It should be a joint venture. You can still work on your bridge, but how did you do that?
So go ahead.
I just saw a quote yesterday that I really liked. It talked about pride competes and purpose collaborates. And I think some people are building a bridge to their own kingdom, and that is not a bridge I'm getting on. And you will know who those people are because they're usually mad you're building a bridge.
Well, everybody wants to take a short.
They want their bridge to go to them.
Okay.
Right.
And if it doesn't go to them, you're out. They're mad.
There's a lot of curves in that bridge all the way to their house.
Everybody wants to take a shortcut, right? So as a kid, me and 15 of our good buddies are out blowing up mailboxes with M80s. It is the truth.
Not surprised.
And it was the 80s. It was the 80s. Times
Bored children.
And I won't give addresses.
You also say crick.
It was next to the crick.
Right.
Yeah.
Creek.
So
Thank you.
It's crick.
Thank you.
and a creak is what happens when you step on a floorboard.
That's creek also. That's
Or
our
mouse.
English language,
Anyway.
but E is creek.
All right. So what happens is
Hillbillies.
what happens is Kent, we'll call him Kent, right? Is the guy who walks up and puts the M8 and everybody scatters, right? And being the last person running from the scene, he sees everybody heading one way and then going, and Kent goes, we just go straight through here. And we're going to get to where we need to get faster. I don't know why they're going. Maybe they saw a dog, whatever. Now, it's in the evening. It's a little bit dewy. And so Kent's on a dead sprint running from the explosion. And at the last minute sees that the path, what he thought was faster, had a barbed wire fence. So Kent it's like everybody was, moving a bridge, but Kent was going to take the shortcut and tried to stop. Of course, slid on the dewy grass and got hung up on the top right through his waist.
Do you still have scars from that?
Right. Allegedly, he does.
I heard he was attacked by a mountain lion
He
once.
was, that's another story.
That's a story for
That's
them.
a good bridge story too.
Yeah.
But so then, right? This is what happens in America today. I think and I can only speak for America because I've been to Iowa. I don't get out of it. Right? We went to the West Coast. We went to California. But so I'm not a world traveler. But that's what happens. And all of a sudden we're like, ooh, too late. Right? And as I get, and then because I said I can do this better, and that's what we talked in the green room. Like, hey, some of the bridges going straight to hell, right?
Yeah.
I mean, some of the bridges going into the part of town you don't necessarily want to be, but hey, that's what Kent did, and he paid the price for it.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah.
And I bring that story up because then when he's hung up on the fence yelling for his friends, they all come back and don't help. They stand and laugh. Right. Look at this.
True friends.
Yeah. Right. They're great friends. But then trying to explain, when you get back and you're putting mercurochrome across your stomach.
Well, I haven't heard that word in a long time.
Yeah.
Right?
I
I lived on that stuff.
Right.
I kind of want to come back to the whole different bridges thing. And
Yes.
I think because I'm a woman, I'm going to come at it from motherhood.
Okay.
If every mom felt like they had to stay home, or every mom felt that they had to send their kids to public school or private school or homeschool, or every mom felt like they had to work, can you imagine what a ridiculous world this would be?
Would. And Alice, if
And-
you're listening, pay no attention. You have to stay at home. I'm teasing.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think
you
that
are in
I've got two
What are you
daughters.
doing out of
I've
the
got
kitchen?
two daughters, for example, and one has a full-time. Well, they both had full-time careers, but one is still full-time.
Yeah.
And one's gone down to 1 day a week because her heart is really, she wants to be able to stay home with her kids.
That's wonderful.
They're both awesome moms, and they're both doing it differently, and they don't need to compete against each other. And they don't.
Sure.
The mommy wars that are going on out there.
And they don't need to
Because-
badger each other
yeah.
because of it, right?
No, they just support and encourage each other with
Right.
where they're at.
Hey, it's great. You want to work all the time and let someone else raise your kid? Good. I don't want to do that. Well, but that type of thing,
Oh,
right?
that's crossing the line, Scott.
Well, you know what I'm
Because
saying. If
she's
you're working,
raising-
Scotch house.
right? No, but
That's
so
an oucher.
Okay.
She's raising her kids.
right?
Wow.
No, she is raising.
She is raising her kids.
Right, like
And her husband's
Well,
raising her
yeah, you
kids,
better
but
be-
it just looks a little different.
oh, the husband. Okay, I got you.
I
I
mean,
got you.
our husband, they both work full time,
Okay,
but they invest into their children.
Right.
And
Right.
I just think that we have to realize that diversity is what makes us strong.
Correct.
Diversity
Thank
in
you.
our bridges,
Thank you.
diversity in it makes us stronger.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if we were all the same, and you have a mom who's staying home, but really she longs to be able, she's called to be able to, or longs to be able to give something back, or to have her independent, whatever the reason it may be, she's not going to be and I'm just using moms because it's an easy analogy for me,
Sure.
but she's not going to be the best mom she can be if she's robbing herself of what she really is being called to do.
Right.
Like some people think for me, I've got 4 grandchildren, and
What?
my family is all within 5 miles of my house. We have dinner every weekend together. Oh, there's a lot of times, and I'm sure even with my girls, they probably wish as I weren't working 2 full-time jobs, which is kind of what I'm doing with Sunbeams and real estate right now. And if I quit everything and just stayed at home like I used to do and be a mom and a grandma and just was available for when my kids wanted me to be available, I wouldn't be me.
Yeah.
I'd be lacking what makes me me. And so I just think we have to really embrace diversity. And I don't even mean that in a racial sense.
No, individualism is key to that,
are
right?
Are we sinning? That's my question.
No.
Are we sinning? Am I sinning by building a bridge in Kidju Day and putting a school in there and building? Am I sinning? Because if I'm not sinning, you probably need to worry about something else. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't think you're sinning.
No, I'm not.
Right.
I'm not saying that I never do. But
Right.
in that, I'm like,
right.
I'm trying to help you.
Well, yeah, right. She's like, no.
I'm not perfect.
Well, nobody is. It's not. We were.
Is a sinner.
Nemo sinning.
I am a sinner, just saved by grace.
Shana says, what to do if you find yourself halfway down the wrong bridge? That's an interesting topic. Might be another show. I mean, that's we need more time to unpack.
Hey,
that.
Shana.
Finish what her question. What did she say?
No,
interesting topic.
Interesting topic.
Yeah, that's all she said.
So that's all she says. So
get off of it. If you find yourself on the wrong one, you just get off. You got jump to another bridge.
Just make sure it's not a bungee cord.
Well, that's a good thing that you actually maybe even notice it, right? You realize it's a change. Sometimes you are called to do something, and halfway through it or whatever, it's like, all right, I'm my input and my information is not needed anymore. I need to go someplace different, right? And maybe I'm going to be more effective someplace else, doing something different.
Maybe you learned what you needed to learn on that halfway journey, and now you need to take
and someone else
build another bridge from there.
And someone else needs to pick up where you left off.
I think people have to understand that bridge building is messy. Okay.
Of course.
We see the Golden Gate Bridge, the lights on it. There's people that die on the Golden Gate Bridge all the time because they're painting it and they fall off. Right. I mean, this is the bridge building. Bridge building is messy. It's not glorified. And I think that's what a lot of people have. That's where a lot of the disconnect comes. Is like, listen, you look at this bridge that I've built with this community in Uganda. This is messy. It's
very messy.
If you can take, if you think of a gunshot wound, right? You get grazed, right? It hurts. It's a little bit of blood, whatever, right? It's kind of like a cut at that point. You're like, whoa, this is bad, right? And then you think of like a through and through, goes through, bullet comes out. It still hurts, right? It's ugly. It's messy. It's bad, right? And as long as it doesn't hit something vital, I'm pointing at my shoulder when I'm saying this. But you get that gun, you go back to the good old Western days, and that slug is inside of you, and you are trying to reach in there and pull it out. Messy. It's messy, right? And that's what building bridges is. You got a bullet in you, and it's messy. There's something that you feel called to do, and it hurts, right? And it's messy, and it takes pain and anxiety and work and lost hours of sleep and then all of a sudden Scott goes, take care of your backyard, Kelly, right? Or
Scott,
right?
Yeah.
And you're like, you don't know how big my backyard is and how messy this is. And then now we get upset with each other, right? Like, how dare you? Right. Hey, and then the challenge comes up. Why don't you come with me?
That's a walk a mile in my shoes. Well, that's a walk a mile in my shoes type of thing before you judge me and give me shit.
Well, if you're gonna judge me, I really don't want you coming with me.
But people don't understand, and that's why they'll judge anybody.
Well,
not even just you. If they don't understand, they're going to judge you without all the information.
Construction is messy. I mean, if you're building a home and you're drywall and dust, even when before you finish the painting and you have the showcase, it's messy.
It's a long, drawn out, messy process.
It's not a glorified thing. I mean,
it's sacrifice.
Shana says the thing those have in common is a lead architect. It's a noble effort, a never-ending commitment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Yeah, well put.
Yeah, you're like the construction manager over there in Uganda. Right.
Mark's the construction manager.
But you're not necessarily calling the shots, but you're helping to
Yeah.
put this whole thing together, to put it in motion, and to bring up other people and hire people to continue.
A lot
to
of
grow it
people,
while you're not
a lot
there.
of people that judge. I'm going to reel this back in a little bit. A lot of people that judge other people are doing it based on ignorance and not education. They don't understand the reasoning for it. Instead of finding out what the reasoning is for it or going to check it out, once again, they're not a bridge builder, but they could be a guest on the bridge to go see why. To get the perspective and then make your judgment. But people are just quick to judge. I just find that I don't even, those are like fleas to me. I just go, okay, whatever, that's on you. You know, if you base it on ignorance and not education, you don't have time for that. You don't have time for that. So it doesn't really matter. Right.
You got to move past that. And you know what? People are going to judge. And unfortunately,
haters are going to hate.
Yeah,
Right.
it just is. And sometimes there's a million different reasons why they judge and why they hate. And I don't even want to judge that because I don't know where they've been.
I don't have time for that.
I've got people within my own family that don't understand
Sure.
why I go across the world. So
right.
Because they haven't been in your shoes. They don't know what you've been through and what you want to accomplish, so to speak.
And they're not wrong for how they feel. I mean, I'm not here to judge how they feel. I just think what excites me about Uganda excites me anywhere I go. I love seeing people become everything God's created them to be. I love people reaching their full potential. I love seeing people make a difference in the world. I love people doing things that light people up. You know, if you sat at home and listened to the news for crying out loud, you would just pretty much, there's a lot of hopeless people in America and in Uganda and everywhere in between because we live in a broken world. And are we going to focus on the broken? Are we going to focus on trying to mend and see there's good? It's just a perspective. And I don't even care about the judges anymore because they got a story too.
Well, and so I'll throw a little contradiction to that. It doesn't mean I hate you. I love you. But the world is perfect the way it is. It's not broken. It was designed this way. You get to experience the bad and the good. If everything was just good, you'd never have the yin with the yang. It's just about how much on that journey land in the middle you want to take of it. And it's up to you to take that. Well, and that's for anybody. So what I'm very impressed about and in my judgment to you is, wow, she's making a huge difference with not just one person, but with a lot of people far away and making that difference. I dare anybody to match that.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Can I just be really real for a second here? To hear you say that, I'm like, you're seeing that. What I'm seeing is every day I wake up and I feel like, I hope I succeed more than I fail today. Like I'm struggling every day to make sure that we do the best we can do.
Sure.
And navigating the messiness and navigating the relationships. And
that's the human experience.
So it's, what people see on the outside, gosh, if I felt like that on the inside, I probably could accomplish a lot more.
You're only failing when you stop trying.
No, I hear you.
And I because you're in it, so I totally understand that. But from an outside perspective, your failures are still a success to me.
Well,
because of the differences that you're making. I'm sorry, Ken. Go ahead.
No. Listen, we want to get this out there. I was trying to type it in, but of course, our computer is our computer today.
Awesome.
Kelly, on April 12th from 6:30 to 9:30, you are hosting Experience Uganda, and it's hosted by Sunbeams Uganda. It's going to be at Marvella's, over in Ingleside. From 6:30 to 9:30. We're going to put it out on our social media. We'll have a post out there. There'll be a QR code. But listen, going back to what Drew said, why don't you walk on that bridge and check it out, right? This is a great opportunity for you to walk on that bridge and check it out.
Yeah, we're going to try to have people be able to experience a little bit of a day in Uganda.
Yeah, he's right up on the microphone. I apologize.
Is it too loud, Shada, or too quiet? Because it was whistling at me before.
You're too loud, probably.
Oh, sorry.
You're eating the microphone. Anyway, go to and we'll get it out on our website. We'll put it out on Facebook, all that good stuff. Eventbrite.com, Uganda Experience tickets. Listen, I mean, we're raising resources to encourage, equip, empower the village of Kijude. Right? Did I
Yes,
say
you
that
said
right?
it right.
And it's going to be awesome. It's going to be 3 hours of just good stuff and an incredible Uganda experience. Right? Hey, you want to say anything on that?
Yeah, you know what? It's come. We're going to do we're going to have a little taste. You're going to be able to literally taste a little bit of Uganda, and you're going to be able to see a little bit of their day in life in Uganda. We're going to have a couple people who went on the trip with me this last time share their experience. You're going to hear about the things we've accomplished. It's really hard to keep it all. Even we try to keep everything updated on social media, but there's a lot happening. So we're going to be able to share what we've done this last year and then share where we're going. And so it'll be a very fun night. I'm super excited about
That's awesome.
it.
Yeah, it's awesome. So somebody else keep talking. I'm writing it in here.
And I'll get to the link too, Kent, because I don't know if what I gave you has the direct link.
Well, that sounds exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be, we'll have good food. We'll have, it'll be a great experience. I think that people who are interested, people who want to walk on that bridge, this is a good way to just walk on it. We've got some testimonies, some live stories. We did some video documentaries that'll give you like a 3-minute snippet of transformation. So yeah, it should be a lot of fun. We got people coming in from different states, and it should be a good time.
So, moving forward, what are the future plans on the bridge?
Future plans on the bridge. So right now we're building a pavilion because we've got 75 of our youngest children in one class, which is just a bad idea. So we are building a pavilion because that's a quick get it up in 3 weeks and get another classroom in there. And then, so that's being done currently. And our Sunbeams Fashion and Design, we need to renovate that house so that it can do all the things we wanted to do there, and building 4 classrooms so that next year we can do P5. We want to be able to grow with them. So we need we need 4 rooms for our nursery part, and then that'll free up the 2 rooms we have for our nursery part to be able to go 2 more years. So we've got lots of fun plans ahead. We're going to do leadership development down there. That's always an ongoing thing.
Nice.
Our leaders are going to be as strong as we encourage them and equip them and empower them to be. So we really do a lot with leadership development down there so that they can do it. We want to be the leaders that work people out of it, that they're not dependent on us.
Correct. I mean, what else are you doing Friday, the 12th of April? You've got plenty of time to get a ticket and rearrange your schedule, so you can show up. But it's going to be great.
Yeah. And we do have, tickets are $50, but part of the proceeds goes to Sunbeams Uganda from that.
Yeah.
And then if there's any businesses out there that want to sponsor a table, that would help us as well. And we're looking forward to being able to share our vision a little bit more and have people ask questions.
Love it.
Love it. Yeah.
The fun part about the bridge is understanding the need to build them, the need to have them, and that not all are not all are. Some are the crickety rope bridge, some are the Golden Gate, and some are just little footbridges across the creek.
The creek.
Some bridges don't need to be big. Some do. I mean, it's just making sure
Sometimes
that you're
the bridge is a fallen tree.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. I mean, you're
know.
making use with what you
Right.
have in front of you, and that's you know what I mean. You're using that falling tree as a bridge. You're using what was given, right, or what's in front of you. I mean, and that's
it's a miracle.
and that's a big
It's
thing for
amazing.
people just to do. I mean, use what you got.
Yeah.
You don't have to recreate the wheel or anything. I mean, so it's.
And we never know how our bridge is going to impact down the road.
It's true.
One good mom invests in one child, it changes the world.
That's the ripple
You
effect.
just don't know. I don't think we should be comparing bridges. My bridge isn't better because it goes farther.
Nope. Just different.
It's just different.
Yep.
Right.
Right. And I think it's important for us to just
Understand that.
really grasp that, because Bill
Listen,
Gates' mom.
Listen, the best
Yeah,
advice the best advice I can give to any bridge builder or bridge traveler is, if you bring food, I'll walk the bridge with you.
Well, we got food at Marvella's. I promise you'll be fine.
Right, hey, it's that old Chi-Italian. Hey, let's sit down and talk about it. Let's
Bring us some food. Brings everyone together, right?
Right. Hey, listen, we got to run. Come back in about a half hour for Innovative Strategies. You're going to love this show. We've got Grayson Soderholm. Grayson Soderholm is a 15-year-old who is opening up now his third business. And when I say that, it's not a popsicle stand. It's not a little car wash in your front yard. This guy has like 6 or 7 employees. Yep. He is making more money than most of his teachers. I mean, 15 years old, you're a freshman in high school at this point. And he's had a very, 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 very successful entrepreneur. Kind of going to be a cool show with a cool bridge maker. Right.
That's
15 years old throwing bridges.
Which
is awesome.
I wish I could stay for that one because it'd be really interesting to see what his upbringing was, right? Like what his mentors, I mean, at 15, I mean, granted, as kids, right? What sparked you? Like at 15, I mean, you know, we all went through, right? But to really actually do it, we all dreamed about it. We talked about it, right?
Yeah.
But at 15 to actually do it. I mean, I had a little business when I was cutting grass when I was a little kid, you know, little things, but not 7, 8, 6, 7 employees.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a totally different realm than on your own cutting grass
That's
or washing cars. But now you got people like, people management's the toughest thing in any business.
I was at my second business at 15.
Yeah.
Well, that's the Italian.
That's fantastic.
That's the Italian.
My only business at 15 was babysitting.
Babysitting.
That was my business at 15.
At 15, I
was roller skating a lot.
At 15, I was working at Hy-Vee grocery store, delivering the Des Moines Register and mowing lawns. I had no employees, and all my friends liked me because I bought candy.
I was going to say you had all the do-re-mi.
Yeah.
Let's go to Jonesy's house.
Friends.
Let's go to Jonesy's house.
Hey, we got to run, but thanks for stopping in on the bridge,
Thanks, guys.
and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yep.